These days, quality furniture is getting harder to find. But that doesn't mean people aren't looking for it. Casa Bella Furniture had the product, but they also had a problem. So we did what we do best. We got to work. And what happened next? Well, we didn't change the furniture, just the way the world saw it. And suddenly, everyone wanted mango. Casa Bella Furniture is a British brand with a passion for solid mango wood. They ethically source mango wood from India, China and Indonesia, and they sell their products through their Warminster showroom as well as their growing e-commerce store. They're a family-run business, independent and have been for over 15 years. It's safe to say they have a real love for what they do. But like many great brands, the marketing wasn't keeping up with the product. Google ads were underperforming, Meta wasn't converting, and the brand just wasn't shining online. They knew it was time to rethink their approach, but didn't know where to start. And that is where we came in. We came in with one clear mission: make the brand feel as good online as it does in person. This is the story of how we've grown Casa Bella Furniture.
Hi, Rob, Suzanne. Right, just having a quick look at your account now. Looking back in the account, I'm just like, oh God, I can't wait to get our hands on it because it's just so overcomplicated. One of the first things we do as soon as we start looking is we do a full tracking review and audit. I'm very happy to put one of my guys, assuming they've got the time, to do it basically now, sort of probably next week, so it's done before Christmas. Just because you've had this blip, I know you said you saw a blip, but for my own peace of mind and for yours, I think it's a good thing for us to just do a full deep dive across GTM, GA, ads, etc., to make sure that all of our ducks are in a row and the data is accruing accurate and there is no sort of skeletons there that we need to address. If you want us to do that, let me know. All right, I'll ping this over now. Cheers. Take care.
Like so many established e-commerce brands, Casa Bella fell into the trap of having huge product range, loads of categories of product. But when you're trying to apply that to ads and wanting to scale online, if you're trying to appeal to everyone and showcase all of the range of products, it becomes very difficult to carve out your niche within a niche and really scale online. And we identified that straight away.
When we first started with Casa Bella, the Meta ad account, I would say, for want of a better word, was pretty underdeveloped. The main thing that was missing was the catalogue, which allows us to do dynamic retargeting ads.
The first time I looked at the Google Ads account, I actually wrote a note and I've put, from my time then, I've put spread so thin. And so it was just very fragmented. There wasn't really much going on in terms of actual overarching strategy. It felt like things were launched to see how they do rather than actual performance led.
We had a bit of a disjointed situation of digital advertising. We were splitting our paid media accounts between 3 different companies. We weren't maximising our potential in any area. That always caused issues in terms of continuity between what we were putting out there, sales, all sorts of promotions. We just weren't in line across the account.
I think there was a lot of room for growth there creatively. Yeah. I think they were trying things, but they didn't necessarily have a proper structure in place. And though it's good to experiment, you need to almost know the direction that you're heading in.
Yeah.
And I think that was something that was lacking in the beginning.
I think also a clear focus on what their key selling products were. I think that they were just creating content around all of them and really honing in on those key pieces, and us being able to create content around those specifically, I think was a real opportunity.
Yeah.
There was no first party data. I'm not even sure that the consent made was set up correctly. It was limited by budget and there was cross matching on products. Brand wasn't working for them. So actually it came to a point where it was hard for me to decide what to do first because I didn't want to go in and just change too much all at once.
The beauty of Casa Bella is that they sell furniture, and a lot of brands sell furniture, but they have a key selling point, which is that they sell mango wood furniture.
Yeah.
And that immediately gives you something extra to work with. It gives you a theme that is way more unique than a lot of other furniture brands.
Yeah, and allows them to be famous for that specific product. And I think that harks back to my last comment about probably lacking a bit of strategy around what exactly to focus on and what products we should be honing in on. So now, yeah, we're doing a huge amount around mango wood, and that is just such a key driver for them. And that product's really lovely as well. They've got such a variety of mango wood products.
Yeah.
We ended up on Aaron's mailing list, and I liked reading his weekly tea breaks, which were always a very entertaining and interesting read, and I liked his approach and what he had to say. It spoke to everything that we were feeling at the time and everything we were experiencing, and what we wanted to do, where we wanted to take the business and the advertising. So we reached out and started having some conversations, and he really seemed to get what issues we were dealing with and what we wanted to achieve and how we could get there.
Once we got into the numbers, the first thing we recognised was that they needed some clarity around their numbers, around their overall business numbers and what role the different pillars of marketing were played. So just how reliant was their brand on their ads that they were running, how reliant and what role was organic and referrer and direct, and their brand visibility. They needed to understand what were the mechanics and the moving parts within their online business, and then from there we could double down and take it even further.
They had the product, but from a marketing perspective, the world just wasn't seeing it. So we rolled up our sleeves and got stuck in. The first step, a proper audit. Because before you grow, you've got to know what's actually working and what's holding you back.
I remember the day we went to visit them, and we both sat down straight after that meeting, and we just listed so many things between us that we knew we could do either separately or together. And one of those was just understanding their commercials, the wider picture, what's the popular products, who they want to target, what they want to be famous for, all those things. And I think that then we had to separate a little bit, didn't we? We had to go off and do our own platform, best practice, auditing, and then we could come back together again and work through those action points.
Yeah, but going out to the client was really useful because it meant that we were kind of bouncing ideas around in the room, and that, Lou's gonna have questions, I have questions, but actually that's where we start to, work together, because we can understand, as a collective what the client is trying to achieve and how we can slot into that individually.
We loved the energy that Evergreen brought to the table, the enthusiasm for us as a brand and as a whole company, rather than just an account, essentially. There seemed to be that real human level of interest to really get to know us, what we wanted to get out of our marketing, and what our vision for our company going forward was. I felt like the team really listened and brought this level of enthusiasm and interest, and obviously knowledge and experience that were really going to benefit us, and that we had a good team behind us to take us where we wanted to go.
It's a collaborative process, isn't it? And we sort of work off each other. One comes up with a concept for one thing, and then that drives then the concept for the other thing. And the aim is that all of it looks in synergy, and it all looks like a cohesive brand campaign.
It's also quite helpful for you when Archie takes thousands of photos.
I love it when you take thousands of photos. Don't worry about how many, because I always say the more the better.
Today's mission is to find as much as we can about the business, about what they're doing with their paid search, their paid social, their creative, and their strategy, because Evergreen has been brought in to help on all of those fronts and so much more. Got the A-team with us, and it's going to be good fun. Right, let's get to it. Let's go and say hello. Come on, let's go.
Nice to meet you, mate.
There you go. Yes, you've got the full crew.
Yeah. And a lot of people won't buy a sofa in a colour unless they can see it, because, it's a big investment. Yeah. So that was the idea with the Celindo imagery stuff, was to actually show them. You've chosen this combination. Look, we can actually show you what it looks like.
Just extracted loads of information about the business and pain points and what we want to focus on. We even come up with an idea that we might actually do really quickly, which is an event in this showroom, because apparently this is the beautiful thing about when you come to meet your clients and you actually get to see and look around. One of the things we found is they're sitting on quite a lot of clearance stock that they want to shift, and so we just brainstormed some ideas and we said, hey, why don't we run an event, an in-person event that we promote locally and online in here. We're going to change the whole showroom and turn it into a bit of a clearance event.
Often you'll think you're going too fast when you're going just fast enough.
Okay, yeah.
So Millie upstairs, who you just saw, was our new transport planner. So she spends her days planning routes, seeing where our drivers.
And where will you deliver to, as far as?
Far north of Scotland.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
From Wiltshire to Scotland.
Yeah. Oh, I just heard that, exactly that, yeah. Once we had the lay of the land, it was clear. The opportunity wasn't small, it was massive. So we started rebuilding Casa Bella's paid media from the ground up. But it wasn't just about scaling. Casa Bella needed a moment, a reason for people to pay attention. Oh, the good old clearance event, that was such fun to organise. We actually identified the need for running their clearance event on the very first visit down. Why? Because they'd said they had a lot of clearance stock that was sitting in their warehouse. They were even having to pay for additional storage. And we thought, that's the problem. We need to get rid of that. How? By running an online and in-person event where we do a lot of promotion locally, and it worked an absolute treat. It was good fun to organise and plan out as well.
We planted the seed, I think, didn't we? The client. But then we had a follow-up meeting, didn't we, where we were kind of having those conversations across the two channels around like what's the landing page, like what's the message, like where are we actually like driving traffic to? Because it doesn't really matter where people are coming from. They need somewhere to go and it needs to make sense. So but that was early on in the conversation.
Right, so one of the big things actually that I'm going to insist on is a balloon arch. We have to have, honestly, I'm obsessed. I know I'm obsessed, but a balloon arch I think is going to be a really good thing. Just visually, you're driving past.
Yeah.
Everyone like, who doesn't want a balloon arch?
Yeah.
So Harriet's working on some graphics at the moment, because I think, again, it's a missed opportunity.
How about if on the last furniture bits we have like last one remaining, or
On
last one
what,
in
the
stock?
website?
No, on the actual furniture in the store.
Oh, see? Oh, it's good. Yeah, love that. Well, obviously you guys are going to do all the digital stuff, but I think with these guys we can really help them with the in-person, practical stuff. Things out the front, on the road, big balloon arch. It's all going to add value. I think it's just driving maximum visibility there. I think it's going to work.
I think as far as the creative for the clearance event, that's mainly over to you.
A sale can look quite harsh. It can look generally people do bright red, bright pink and white.
Yeah.
And so we softened it by using their coral colour slightly out their brand guidelines, but it still had that punch, it still had that eye-catching element to it. And then it was really about driving those key lines that there were going to be as part of the clearance sale on their leaflets.
But then I think as well, we also, as we do with everything, made it very omni-channel, and we did make specific ads for search and social that were for the clearance event as well.
We did.
Just to make sure that we covered all bases, made sure that the people who were being targeted for them already were able to see that they were having this event, and then actually also target the local area. Just to make sure that we were covering all bases.
So it was an online and an offline event. Creating that strategy that worked across all channels really helped drive the performance of the whole event.
And you know what I think was the most successful part about the event?
You're going to say the balloon arch.
The balloon arch.
Of course you are.
A couple of months ago, we came down to meet our new client, Casa Bella Furniture. And one of the many things we discussed on the day was their need for a clearance event, because they were sitting on a lot of surplus stock, clearance stock, old stock that they wanted to shift. They've turned their showroom into effectively an outlet for a 72-hour period. The guys are back in the office promoting like gangbusters, everything from an online, from a paid search, a paid social perspective. That, as well as their team, have been out in the local area leafleting. I think that we've put about 40,000 leaflets through the doors of the local town and the surrounding areas. So there's a lot going into this.
Balloons.
Oh, you legend. There you go, see. I insisted we had to have a balloon arch. That was a prerequisite.
Good with a pump.
Yeah, bring it on. We're here to help. And yeah, let's do it. Da, 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 da. What was a suggestion? They went, we've never done that. We love it. Let's do it. We worked together. We've helped with some of the design of what they need to do. We've helped with some of the planning. We've come today, literally building the balloon arch. And we're just here to support. And, ultimately we're growing their business. Darren, who's behind the camera, has just finished their brand film, which is amazing. We got the client on film, telling the story, their 17-year heritage of this brand. So considering we're only a few months in, I think this campaign is getting all the foundation, all the hallmarks. This is going to be such a great collaboration. Hey guys, check this out. So we've just had an email from Suzanne at Casa Bella. Just read it. I think most of you are on CC, but just before you get to it, they've said, "Morning everyone, hope you had a good weekend. Just to let you know, the weekend was a roaring success. A very impressive boost online over all 3 days. The shop on Saturday was heaving. Amazing. Friday and Sunday were also pleasantly nice and busy. And we've seen a massive improvement on the footfall that we're used to in the store. Very worth the effort that went in, and we couldn't have done it without your support and great ideas. Thank you again. We look forward to the next project." There's the big one there. What's the win? Amazing, there you go. Do you know what, that emails like that's amazing because it's that perfect marriage. So these guys with all the online stuff have done just such an amazing job, localizing the ads and getting everything out there, and then coupling that with the in-store events. A big shout out to their team. This has now increased their brand awareness locally. So there's now thousands of people that know who they are, where they are, and that will now pop down week after week. And we've increased that visibility of their physical showroom as well as boosting all the online stuff. Love it. The omni-channel marketing approach, just beautiful. Mwah. When the clearance event took off, we saw something click. People weren't just buying because of price, they were connecting with the brand, and that's when the creative work really began.
I think the main thing was to try and be consistent with what we were doing.
So really making sure that we were using the same fonts, we were using the same weights and the layout. And yes, the clearance event was key because that was offline and online. And that, from a customer's perspective, has to be the same across every touch point. It's keeping that consistency so then the customer recognises that brand instantly.
Like with all of our client campaigns, this one remains a work in progress, but what we've seen so far has been the power when you are very clear on what it is you want to be famous for, what you want to be found for online, and you do that and you market that consistently, and of course you sprinkle it with fantastic creativity and you really carve out your niche within a niche. When you do that, and you do it consistently, magic can really happen.
What we're loving about our new creative work that we're getting from Evergreen is the videography and imagery that's just really taken us up to the next level in terms of what we're putting out on the internet, how we're showing our products and the life essence behind the products. We've leveled up in terms of quality of the creative side. We've got all these great new videos that are looking so good on our accounts, and now we're out there on YouTube, and we're really pleased with the brand video and how it's improved our image.
When we go and shoot ads, we capture way more than we need for one campaign.
Yeah.
And it means that we don't have to go and visit the showroom every single month. It means we can go a good sort of 3, sometimes 4 months, depending on how much we capture, and still have plenty of assets to play with.
Yeah, and variety is key because it doesn't always, you might think that's the perfect shot that's going to work, and actually it ends up being something completely different. So the more that you capture, the more variety you've got, because then when you're at your screen, sometimes things work completely differently to what you think when you're there. So I think it's hugely important to have a large volume and then whittle it down.
In 5 months, we'd launched like 67 creatives. That's 12 new creatives a month, I think, roughly. So it played a big part, and it always does when we take on a new client, is that we don't know what we don't know, and because there was very little for me to be able to go on from what was running before, it was a case of let's get volume out quickly. And actually I think that's where a lot of brands fall down sometimes, is they almost spend too much time on it, when actually create quickly, considered but quickly, get it live, let's see what the data says. So it played a huge role because we were able to then identify, what works, what doesn't. cross-channel learnings, but also then prioritise, okay, where do we need to spend more of our time with our future creative briefs, and where do we need to spend more money? Because ultimately the goal is to scale the brand. So
it was super helpful though, because we were trying to launch their YouTube channel at the same time. So having that lots of creative very quickly meant I could get the YouTube channel running nicely and quickly.
As much as we do creative, it's that collaboration with the paid team that allows us to have the right calls to action and the right taglines in the creative that we actually do, but then also the social and search teams putting in that copy that they know is going to be in line with what we've done and also in line with what we're trying to achieve from the ads. And it's that collaboration that really makes us achieve such heights as 200 ROAS on brand.
Good creative grabs attention, great creative drives results, and for Casa Bella, the numbers told a clear story. But it wasn't just campaigns that clicked. Something else made this project stand out: the people.
So it's a very sunny Friday morning. We're going to Rob and Suzanne's home because we are doing a creative shoot for them. And that, my friends, is a wrap.
For today.
For today. Of course, the job is always ongoing, but for today, we have got a whole host of footage and images so that we are all good to go when it comes to the upcoming ads for Casa Bella.
One of the things we've enjoyed most about working with Evergreen is how likeable and welcoming the team are. It seems like such a great team of people who work so closely and have such a great working culture that to be able to be part of that has been really nice to have that involvement with the Evergreen guys. It's been really lovely to be involved in that team spirit and how well everybody works together, and they've really made us feel comfortable to share ideas and work together to that shared goal of progressing our business.
I've said to my team for many years that the key to both client and agency success and both parties reaping the rewards is about ensuring you have great results, first and foremost. Marketing is all about the results, so they need to become first and foremost, but also just as important is the relationship. So one of the reasons we love working with owner-operator SMEs and small businesses is you get to know the people behind the business, and similarly, they get to know the people behind our team. And when you get the results and you marry that with the relationship, it becomes a beautiful thing.
For me, it's been great working with Suzanne and Rob from an openness to be challenged. They are very protective of their brand, and rightly so. What we've tried to really get that right when we do their meta ads, of course, which is also used across other channels. But sometimes there are kind of meta nuances that need to be considered, and sometimes those sorts of formats can work really, really well. So we've carried on to kind of produce those and show those to the client, and they've been happy to kind of take our lead and allow us to test those sorts of things, and kind of almost let the data do the talking. But also collaborating with their team internally has been really good as well. So, you know, the guys that are doing the organic socials, collaborating with those to make sure that we're kind of supporting that and identifying what's working well on organic is likely also going to kind of perform well in the meta ads as well.
I think for me, the relationship with Casa has been super fun, because Rob is so up for testing things, and you only have to say, let's try this, and he's like, sure, I'll go away and do that.
Yeah.
So like putting the cost of goods sold into the feed, trying different things out in the feed. Like if I say to him, I want to test this in the platform, he'll say, yes, let's go ahead and do that. And he gives us the time and space to do that. And he understands that that we need that time and space to bring the data together.
It's a really trusting partnership,
Yeah,
isn't it? They really trust us to kind of crack on and do a good job, and having that space and time to be able to do that, showing in the results.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure having a 200 warehouse on brand has helped.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It may seem like we're capturing a lot or we're asking a lot, but actually there's always a strategy and there's always a plan behind it. And I think being open to just going, yeah, okay, let's try this, let's try that.
And I think we work best when we have that trust and understanding from a brand.
Yeah.
And so the more we get of that, like we do with Casa, the more effective results we can
Yeah, and the
produce.
more it can all thrive and it can all flourish.
If it weren't for Casa's willingness to do whatever was needed, there's no way we'd have done the clearance event.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
it's because of that willingness that it was a roaring success.
Yeah, exactly. And we're hoping we're going to be able to do it again, you know, because who doesn't love an in-store event? Who doesn't love a balloon arch?
This is only the beginning, because this is a brand that's just getting started. And for Casa Bella Furniture, the future is looking solid. So there you have it. That is Casa Bella's story so far. Everyone clearly loves a bit of mango wood, and I think this is a campaign that is going to run and run. Now, if you would like to create your own story in partnership with Evergreen, then get in touch, because we would love to work with you. All we ask is that you're a home or garden brand, as that is what we love to market here at Evergreen. So if that is something you'd be interested in, then get in touch today. And as ever, thank you so much for watching. Take care.